Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One and welcome to Boots on the Ground. Let's get right into it. This is the small business shout out. My parents run a website of only American made products. They have done extensive research to ensure things are USA made. My parents are older, but they have a company. It is called www.usab2c.com. Americans business to consumers. I'll put the links in there for you, just check them out. But they all is American made products. They also want to say, third, inflation. I've witnessed inflation. Products on Amazon, which I bought in 2019, many have increased by at least 25%. Some have doubled. I believe one of the example is a single Honda Civic hubcap I bought in 2019 for $32. It is now on sale for $41 with its non-sale price of $55. Also, I bought a pillow for $25 and now it is $75. So there's just a few examples. They also wanted to say that they have felt discrimination. They were going to have a job interview and it was canceled at the beginning of 2022, and they received a memo or an email saying because I did not fit the diversity requirements. So yes, being discriminated because of your skin color. I thought we heard a lot of that back in the 60s and 70s. It's coming full circle, sad to say. Reports from numerous reports I've gotten this. Reports from China say they are out of drugs and China supplies 90% of U.S. drugs and the raw materials to make the drugs that we have over here. This person says you need to get a year's supply now. Everything from over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs you need. You need to be prepared to take care of yourself and your friends and your family. And I've echoed that here forever. If you need something and you can get it over the counter, buy it now. This is from rural Minnesota. Just went to the nearby Aldi's, next town over, and eggs were $4.68 a dozen. $4.68 a dozen, and not well stocked. Very slim on the bread and no cat food. Walmart also had empty aisles of dry cat food and very little large cans of generic cat food. They just had the very tiny expensive ones. This guy or person says, my business furnace quit working. I'm waiting for a part to arrive. It's going to show up in about 2 weeks. My business is closed because of no heat. I don't have $6,000 for a new furnace, so I guess I just have to wait and pray that the part comes in. So pray for this person. Pray that this part will not be delayed and it will only take 2 weeks or less. This was an article that says, brace for a spike in U.S. gas prices next year due to refinery disruption and amid renewed energy demand from China as the Asian nation reopens its economy, according to Gas Buddy. 2023 is not going to be a cakewalk for motorists, they said. It could be very expensive. The national average price of gas at the pump could top around $4 a gallon in most major U.S. cities as early as May. They say cities on the West Coast in California, San Francisco, Los Angeles could see approaching nearly $7 a gallon in the summer. And this is all according to Gas Buddy, and they're pretty reliable. They do great service with getting prices out of the cheapest gas. This is from Eastern Kentucky. High food prices. Kraft mayo, $7.29. Miracle Whip salad dressing, $10.19. 2.5 dozen eggs, $13.29. Crisco cooking oil, $6.29. I did manage to find a great deal on chicken breasts for $1.98 a pound, and I got 20 pounds to pressure can, so that was good. This person said, heard reports today from Maryland residents near Baltimore unable to find children's medicine. We live in southern Maryland / DC suburbs area, and we have abundantly stocked for months. The Costco in Brandywine, Maryland is fully stocked with all children's medicine. Been listening to you for a while, but our area has been largely unaffected by shortages. I suspect that our proximity to power in DC is insulating us from shortages, at least for now. For listeners in the Mid-Atlantic area, the closer you get to D.C., District of Criminals, the better luck you have finding supplies. FDA conducted a study of more than 100 prescription and over-the-counter medication and found that roughly 90% were perfectly fine to use even 15 years beyond the expiration date, according to the Harvard Health Publishing. Another study found that many drugs still keep their potency for up to 4 decades, and that's by another study. But some health experts still suggest it's worth considering a new bottle, particularly since drug makers come out with new formulas over time. So, I am not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, so check with professionals. If you have a drug that's past the expiration date, make sure it's still safe to use. This person said, I got an old-fashioned sauerkraut crock like my German grandmother would have used. I got it for my birthday. I packed it with shredded cabbage and the necessary amount of salt and water. In November, at Christmas time, it was ready and delicious. It is full of naturally fermented probiotics, which are dynamite for your immune and gut health. Avoid antibiotics by eating probiotics to stay healthy. It keeps in the refrigerator or a cool basement or garage for months. Low-tech, off-grid. One area that I need to work on is fermenting. I don't do much of that, but I like sauerkraut, so I need to get going on it and experiment with sauerkraut and any type of fermenting. I have a couple friends that do fermenting. I do zero. I guess that's a negative that I can learn and try to solve that problem. Another report: 90% of medication and the raw ingredients come from China. And they're saying that even China's having a shortage of certain things. And it also could be a shortage of things because they are letting the zero COVID policy go out the window. And they're just wanting really just to get over it because their economy is in dire shape because of their lockdowns. Also said, there is a large percentage of oil refinery capacity offline right now. And it will be offline at least till mid-month. And then there's a possible freeze coming in the 3rd week of January. Plus, we've lost gas and diesel from refinery in Italy. Does not look good. From my years of engineering, I am sure that Duke Energy deal was not due to winterization. He's referring to the rolling blackouts. He says, off at 8, back on at 4 p.m. Off again at 8 a.m. the next day. Sounds like blackmail cyber attack. I couldn't verify this, but there is something fishy about that. That would involve Duke Power shutting off a large percentage of their users of electricity. This comes from southern central Kentucky. Eggs, $2.89 a dozen on sale. That is a great deal. $2.88 is pretty cheap. No distilled water to be found. This is coming from Summerville, South Carolina. Walmart, Costco, and some grocery stores. Walmart was sparse on meat, only a few kinds in the package of chicken. Processed meat cooler in the center aisle is for things like ham and bacon were filled with crates of cabbages and iceberg lettuce. I've never seen that before. Not much pork, some beef, but prices are high as usual. The produce aisle continues to be spotty, about 75% full with price high and quality low. Also needed to pick up some clear totes for food preps, and instead of having them stacked by sizes with lid on the higher shelf, totes were individually set out with lids on it. The regular tote aisle has totes like this, and the seasonal Christmas section at the front of the store has 3 whole rows filled with individually set out totes. I noticed an entire aisle above the toilet paper and paper towel have stacks of beanbag chairs instead of boxes of paper products. Looks like 2020 toilet paper problems that we had. Lots of bigger ticket items like desks and TVs taking up space in the middle aisles were marked on clearance and priced to move, and they had to double the size of the walkways. They doubled the size of the walkways between the register and the clothing section and the jewelry counter, etc. No more bins in that area with chips, candy, and specialty items like they usually had. Looked so barren. Looked like you could drag race down the strip in Power Wheels. Eggs at Costco in Charleston are now down to one kind, regular white large 2 dozen pack for $5.99. Not a bad price for 2 dozen. Regular large white eggs at a grocery store, 18 for 6. A dozen was $4.49. Also, the small individual snack bag size of chips like Doritos and Lay's were $1.78. Let me repeat that. Those small little bags of chips, Doritos and Lay's, $1.78. I've seen those. Unbelievable for just a handful of chips. They say things are starting to look spotty. with the selection. The prices are up. They did say the dip in gas prices from a week or two ago has evaporated, hovering around $3 to $3.19 in my area. This is important right here. I work in a pretty specific industry, standby power generation. We deal mainly with medium voltage generators from 500 to 4,000 kilowatts. These units typically go to wastewater treatment plants, hospitals, mines, data center, universities, etc. Lead times on generators themselves have increased dramatically this past year. What used to take 6 months is now taking 6+ months from the factory. Cat, Cummins, MTU, Volvo, all the manufacturers are having lead time issues. Certain components are also having lead time issues, such as fuel and water separators, and lots of electrical components. This person just said they're in the South. My husband had a kidney stone in 2019. He was seen at urgent care. A urine test was performed. He was given an injection to relieve the pain. The visit cost $79 without insurance. Last month, I had an insect bite that developed red streaks. I went to the same clinic. No tests were performed. No medication were administered. A prescription was sent to the pharmacy. I saw the physician for less than 5 minutes. The total cost of that visit, $225, and that did not include any prescriptions. $225. So basically $79 with a urine test and an injection. Now $225 for a 5-minute just look at you and send you out the door with a prescription. I bought a cold from Costco in the fall and planted spinach, Swiss chard, and leaf lettuce in it. They have all done great, and we had fresh greens for several months. During the negative temperature, it was a wind chill of minus 20. I figured everything would freeze. The leaf lettuce doesn't look great, but will come back. The Swiss chard was a little damaged, but is fine. The spinach looked good. Can't even tell it survived freezing weather. So the spinach sounds like it's the hardiest. Tomorrow I'm going to start my 2023 onions from seeds in a spot where the lettuce died back. This is another option to have fresh green even during winter, as well as a mini greenhouse. So if you're really serious about surviving what's coming, you need to at least get into cold frames. You need to get into greenhouses, extend your season, or get a jump on your season. Every winter in the West, we watch water being dumped downstream from the dam systems. With the dams less than a third full when it rains, they dump water out. Every summer, we watch farmers starve for water during record drought years. Now they're removing dams along some of these river systems. They say the drought is man-made. Did a pickup order from Fred Meyer's today. It's a Kroger company. Could not get the eggs I ordered. No cauliflower, no cereal, regular or organic. Still no Dave Killer's whole wheat bread. That is strange considering the price they get for that one. The news here did a story on people in King County not getting mail. Eventually a lot of people quit just before the holidays. They had no help. This report was after I went the whole holiday time without delivery of 2 boxes from 2 different sources. Okay, we had ice and snow, so I overlooked that one. When I finally got notice on Tuesday of this week, they said that both been delivered to the front door at 8:15 p.m. Nope, not there. Luckily, we have some good people in the area. A guy from 2 blocks away brought both boxes over in the morning. They had been delivered to his house. I do not understand why they're delivering boxes at night when you can't read house numbers, addresses on boxes, or even see what you're doing. Luckily, they had a nice neighbor in the area bring their boxes over, or they would have been gone. According to the National Energy Assistant Directors Association, roughly 20 million households in the U.S., 1 out of every 6 homes, are behind on their utility bills. As of August, these families owe about $16.1 billion in total, with the average amount owed of $788. The consequences of this could be dire, especially as home heating costs are expected to reach its highest level in over 10 years. I expect a tsunami of shutoffs, they're predicting. And with the last couple of weeks of really cold weather, some people are going to receive massive bills. Pray for that. I pray that people can afford these things, or at least get on a payment plan. A major Israeli attack on the Syrian capital has killed 2 soldiers and wounded 2 others and put the country's main international airport temporarily out of commission. The early morning Monday attack reportedly involved Israel jets firing 2 missiles at Damascus International Airport, causing significant amount of damage to force the airport's closure while it undergoes repairs. The timing is interesting given the new Netanyahu government was just sworn in at the end of last week and is filled with hardline anti-Iranian hawks who will likely escalate the proxy war across the region. This person says, I am a nurse at an extremely busy ER, one of the busiest in the States, and I watch your videos and hear people concerns and complaints about their experience in the ER. What a lot of people don't seem to understand is that it's a combination of staff being overwhelmed with patient load as well as being understaffed, not to mention supplies being on back order. The problem is the emergency room is one of the most abused area of healthcare. People have a tendency to treat the ER like a doctor's office, which contributes to the ER being overwhelmed with patient loads and a long wait time. In fact, majority of the patients we see are not genuine emergencies. For example, a non-infected cyst on your arm is not an emergency. People also don't understand that ER patients are seen by level of priorities. Example, the person experiencing stroke symptoms has to be seen before a sprained ankle. We ask that anyone coming to the ER please have a little patience with us. Screaming at the staff who has no control over the wait time, degrading us as people and professionals is only making healthcare workers want to quit sooner. Many people, myself included, have lost our passion for nursing. Sometimes it's all I can do not to turn in my name badge. I appreciate anyone that works in the healthcare. I don't want to be around a bunch of sick people. So if you have that calling and you don't mind being around people with flu and all kinds of other sickness and disease, I commend you. I'd rather be stuck in a foxhole, running low on ammo, facing an enemy than facing the invisible enemy of viruses and germs that you people in healthcare do every day. I commend you. Thank you. This is a good report. My Chicago area pediatric hospital has hardly any respiratory patients this past week. I've emailed you before about how crazy busy we were and running out of beds, equipment, and staff. Not so now. Looking good tonight. What I'm doing is cleaning equipment and organizing the workroom. What a difference just a few weeks makes. But it's good news. I'll take it. So that's awesome news. Maybe that was referring to, I think, the RSV, and hopefully that is dwindling down. Not sure why this didn't occur a week ago due to how cold, negative 30 degree Fahrenheit, it got here in central Kentucky, but my neighbor had his 30-pound propane tank stolen on New Year's Eve. He noticed it was missing today, so I reviewed and scrubbed the video from my house across the street and eventually saw a blue sedan go up the street at 12:55 a.m., turn around out of my view of my camera and come back, park in front of my neighbor's house, sit a minute, and then a guy got out of the car, snagged the tank, hops in his car and takes off. The tank was empty. I think they want to fill it for the next polar vortex or sell the tank for scrap. I recently bought a 100-pound tank to fill, and it cost me $280 just for the tank. $280 just for the tank. These tanks are not cheap anymore. I'm now more aware everything needs to be nailed down. Like 3 years ago, you could buy one of these tanks for $99, and then they went up to $1 or $119, then $149. I didn't know they were this high at $280. That's just for the tank. I'm going to keep an eye on the ones I have. Just heard you broadcast where you questioned how to keep a rooster from crowing. There's a collar for sale that limits the throat expansion needed by your rooster to blare out a big loud crow. It is flexible and humane. Now it's called NoCrowRoosterCollars.com is their website. And I'm going to be honest with you, this was funny to me. I didn't even check to make sure this was a right website. I don't know if they're pulling my leg, and I know it's not April 1st yet, but look into it. NoCrowRoosterCollars.com is their website. I'm going to put that in their link, and we'll see where it takes us. I always buy the full-strength concentrated antifreeze and makes my own 50-50 mix because it's better value for me. There are shortages of the full-strength concentration because Walmart in my central Georgia was sold out and they only had the 50-50 premix. I went to my discount store and got the last 2 gallons of full-strength concentrate. I guess full-strength concentrate antifreeze in short supply and high demand. So if you're short on antifreeze, you might want to pick some up. Well, there we go. Almost 20 minutes in. I hope you're preparing. I hope you're prepping. I hope you're praying. And I hope you show someone some kindness today if you can. Thanks for watching.